So guys, I want to say thank you for watching my next devlog about TTToolbox, and yes, I did it. Version 0.4 is now released and we will now cover how it works. But at first let's cover what is in the release. So I added the unweighted bounds feature, so that allows me and hopefully you as well to introduce IK bounds into characters directly in Unreal Engine without leaving Unreal Engine, without learning Blender and so on, just with a right click, and fingers crossed it works on your computer as well. I had to mess around a little bit with the public functions of Unreal Engine and understand how the data is stored there. It was quite an interesting task, really. But now I can use it for Miximo characters and for metahumans and for some characters from the community. So thank you guys for sharing your characters and getting some feedback from you. So without it, it wouldn't be possible to implement such stuff. Furthermore, I added the data table rows for Miximo characters, for virtual bound sockets, and for constraining the bounds, because there we have different names. And we can also add, oh, I forgot to add this. We can also add a root bound. Let me quickly add this to the release as well. Oh, I need to log in, so I will do it later. So we can also introduce a root bound, because Miximo characters does not provide a root bound. They don't know what it is. And we can also constrain the virtual bounds again through Blutility that triggers the animation recompression. And that's very handy, because normally you have to close the editor and start it again if your virtual bounds get messed up. And I got really annoyed by this task, so I decided to see how stuff works there. That's a public function we can call with C++ as well. And yeah, wait, before we download the plugin, at first let's create a small project to show you how stuff works. And for that we will use this folder here. Why does it not work? What's going on? Why is it so weird sometimes? So we will call this ALS metahuman. Project name is the same name. And I'm using Unreal Engine 5.0.3 because it's the most stable version I got so far, and it fixes, hopefully, fingers crossed, the additive base pose stuff, because I did not see yet the issues again. So fingers crossed that the issue is gone. So let's create a project quickly. So this is a pure blueprint project, and we need to add a plugin, which is TTToolbox, because we want to use it, of course. So we go here to ALS metahuman, download the zip file. So it's quite small and it's quite fast. Then we create a new folder inside the project and call it plugins. Then we move the zip file here and we unzip the stuff. We just say here unzip here. So it comes with a folder which is called TTToolbox underscore v0.4 underscore and so on. Lots of stuff, and here's the stuff, the license and the plugin and so on. And we can now start the project. And fingers crossed, if everything is right with the release, we should see version 0.4 in the plugins window. So it takes some time to start Unreal Engine 5. So here it is, fresh project in ALS. At first, always I do a test, a quick test. So it seems to work. Debugging stuff works. So yeah, mesh switching works. The layering system works as well. And let me check an overlay state. So seems to be fine, right guys? So we can move on. In case you don't have this plugin window, you can go to Edit, Plugins. Then you can type in 3 T's and you will find TTToolbox. And it's enabled by default, so we should already have the stuff. Let's see if it works. So here we go to ALS, character assets, mannequin skeleton. right click, and we should hear scripted. Yes, so it works perfectly fine. And but we don't want to cover the many, we want to cover the metahumans. So for metahumans, to make them ALS compatible already, it depends on how you want to call it, we need to add one, of course. I'm using Hudson because I already tested lots of stuff with him, and just click on add, and hopefully it will add him quickly. So yeah, I will not do the full retargeting process because that's more like a tutorial thingy, and this is more like a devlog. I just want to share the newest features, and I'm still working here on getting a metahuman working fully with ALS. So I dropped down some notes in the issue section. So again, also thank you guys for giving so much feedback. We already had 3 bugs basically, or 3 issues, which we solved together and got stuff working there. And here, that's my issue basically, get metahumans working. And here I wrote down some notes, which settings I used and how I added the virtual bones and the bone chains and so on for retargeting. But yeah, that's what we will not cover. We will just cover how we can introduce virtual bones as well, and IK bones, because that's quite fast. So we say restart later, and we close the engine and we open it again, because there are some metahuman based plugins which you can use, like live link for facial animations and so on with your mobile phone. Sadly, I did not cover it yet, so I cannot say much about it, but I have seen some very good tutorials on some very good results for just using a phone. So here's the metahuman, and how I do it is the following. I filter for skeleton meshes. No, not skeleton meshes, of course not. We filter for skeletons. Skeleton. So here we have the face skeleton, here we have the body skeleton. If we open this one, we will see, I guess, the first issue. Is it gone? Interesting, now it's gone. I think the Epic is still improving the metahuman stuff, because I had an issue and the wrong preview mesh was set. But yeah, it seems to be fine now. So, and as you see, here are no IK bones. So this character will not work with ALS properly. You can use virtual bones, but yeah, I don't like the results, because you have always issues with the IK systems. So, and to work around this issue, we can do the following. We do a right click and go to scripted asset actions, character tools. That's the one the plugin provides. And we can here click on add unweighted bones. So on this process will take some time. Just go away from your computer and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will run smooth, and we will see immediately on a few seconds the IK bones. So yeah, this might take some time. As you know, I'm just waiting. I don't skip anything in my videos. So that's what you need to learn, or what you need to enjoy, hopefully. So everything is now connected, and we can click on save all. So it will save all the animations because it touched the skeleton meshes, and we click on save selected. And here you already see the IK bones. So it's super easy for me. I don't know how to do it in Blender, but for me it's so easy to do it. And we can now show, hopefully, all bones, all hierarchy. And here we see the IK bones. So they are there. So we can start tinkering with this metahuman and hopefully get it working with ALS or Lyra. So what we can also do is to make the character more ALS compatible, we can add sockets quite quickly, and we can add virtual bones. So, and here you now see we also have the virtual bones. Without any pain, without any clicks, it's just done. You might wondering now how it works. And this is, as is it the devlog, I will explain it. So how it works is we go to plugins and we go to TTToolbox content, and there is a folder which is called data, and there we have all the data tables that are used internally. So here, for example, we can open the unweighted bones data table, and here are the names. So that's how it's set up. It's basically a simple struct in the correct order, so that we can add at first the IK foot root bone, then we introduce the IK foot left bone, right bone, then we introduce as well an IK hand root bone, then the gun bone, hand left, hand right, and we are done. For Miximo, the names are a little bit different. As you see here, for example, it's called left foot, and the epic skeleton is called foot _L. So yeah, guys, why did you not take the same names? It would make things so much easier for us. But yeah, that's how it's set up. For the virtual bones, it's the same. It's just a data table. And for also here, we have a virtual bone for the Miximo character. And you might not wondering now how can you click, how can you do a right click and then get the right data table, right? Then you can also do, in all functions I provide with TTToolbox, you can also find some functions which is called add unweighted bonds from data table. I don't know why the ordering is messed up here, but yeah, that's sadly I don't have the control over it. And here you can search for unweighted bonds. That's the data table. Then you can select the row name and then click on OK. I will not do it because we already added those bonds. And how the functions are implemented are the following. If we go to the editor hooks, that's where most stuff is available, and I think it's skeleton bones. If I'm correct. Yep, I'm correct. So here we have add unweighted bonds from data table, and here we have add unweighted bonds. And add unweighted bonds always works the following. We call this function here, and we have a data table, which is the default value. So that's how it works. And as we Unreal Engine developers most of the time work with the epic skeleton, because there we have so many animations and so many characters on the marketplace, I decided to do it like this. So we could also introduce a function which is called add unweighted bones for Miximo if we have more stuff. And then in this unweighted bones stuff, it works the following. We get the data table row, confirm that it's the correct one, store it in a local variable. Then we get all selected assets. Then we do a for each loop. We do a cast to the skeleton. We store the skeleton so that we don't have crossing wires. And then we call the add unweighted bone. And afterwards we request animation recompress, because this will take care of the virtual bones. And then we can start tinkering with retargeting and get it working. So you might wondering, how do those functions work internally? They are implemented in C++, and you can look into the source code in the repository, or if you really want to dive into the topic, I would highly recommend watching my series. So which is, hopefully I can open the link. Yeah, quickly, I think so. YouTube. Let me quickly to attack YouTube. Cookie stuff. I hate cookie stuff. So here is the playlist, and I shared the workflow and the stuff here in this playlist. It's called ALSSecrets UE5 Many Integration plus Git workflow. That's the stuff. I showed almost everything except the last feature, the unweighted bones feature, because this one is very complex and I had some struggle as well to implement it. And I thought, yeah, it might not be interesting for you to follow every step when I struggle and so on. That's why we have the review sessions, so that you know how I do reviews. That's also interesting, I guess. So, did I forgot anything? I don't think so. Let me quickly check. So you can also say add root bone, yeah, for Miximo character. So yeah, I would say we are done now. So if you have questions about, I don't know, topic you're interested in, please let me know in the comments below. Or, oh, one more important thing, really important thing. If you have issues with the plugin, please raise a new issue with this button, and I will take care of it when I have the time. So don't expect that I respond immediately. I'm still working on stuff as well and having my own projects. But yeah, yeah, plugins for free for everyone, and I also shared how to develop it. So then I would say we are done with the session, and I hope you have some luck as well adding unweighted bones and Unreal Engine without having to deal with importing and exporting a metahuman, because I think they are very complex and it might break stuff very easily if you choose one setting wrong, and then you might struggle or get stuck for several days to fix it. Yeah, that's all. See you in the next devlog, and happy coding to all of you.